weird technology, but I would like to mix that world with kind of a fantasy world where you have different races like elves or something, and trying to keep the main things from fantasy world. So in a fantasy world, you have different main characters like fighters, uh, or wizards or something, and that's so I'm trying to develop some kind of a wizard or high priest character from the middle one, and so because of the steampunk part, I probably gonna use more bulky rusted armor plates and machines and pipes, what I really like. But at this stage, we are a bit far away from this. So at the moment, I'm really just working um, on the poses and experimenting with different armors. So as you can see, I'm totally repainting the the armor of the physical character. I'm just adding the main highlights to get a feel from about the collection, about the character, and try, trying to come up with more interesting silhouettes, defining the shapes more, and but also I'm trying to keep it loose, to not get into the details, and it's still just an experimenting stage. Usually for me, this is after this stage, I'm sending the works or the sketches to the client. So, so these are the sketches of what they get, and they can pick from. So they usually pick one, and I'm developing that further, or we can combine different elements from the three character into one, like the pose of the middle one with the armor of the first, and so on and so on. There are a lot of anatomy faults on these characters at the moment, but I'm not too worried about that because uh, they are more about the overall feel, the overall mood of the piece, what I'm creating. So I'm also putting random lines and dots and all sorts of things onto the characters because I'm just trying to help my imagination with random things. So as you can see, um, there are a lot of random lines behind the head of this character what I'm working on. So I'm raising it back because I would like to have a clean helmet, maybe a couple of spikes, as you can see. So this I'm aiming for something with this third character, with this assassin one, with something like an awkward Boba Fett from Star Wars. So he probably has a jetpack, different patches on his belt, and even a pistol on his legs. But he uses a knife. What is a typical assassin weapon? I'm not too worried about the high design of the different elements. So I'm just trying out different things, and generally I'm trying to make the design more and more interesting. Yeah, I resized the head of this character because I wasn't really satisfied. It was way too small. trying to focus in the armor pieces. I'm trying to imagine it's the whole armor made from bulky scrap metal. So now I'm saving the file and I'm zooming in a bit more, just to add a bit more definition to the faces, and because a face, it's a really important part of the character. That's what you look at first after a silhouette. A bit of adding a bit of highlights here and there, refining the silhouette more. This stage could really help you to decide where the light is coming from. So what is your main light source in case of a character? Adding more small pieces and more small lines could really help to make your character more interesting, and it gives you an opportunity to add more interesting details later. So I'm refining silhouettes one by one, adding the main shadows, what casted by the head and by the body, and moving to the next character. Here I'm really trying to go towards this mad priest or wizard kind of look, but so having a big beard, some sort of like a Mesopotamian